Hello, Red Group. Before I even start this video and start my instruction, I'm going to say if you are not in the red math group, then you are on the wrong video. Okay? Only red kiddos should be on this video. I'm going to explain what's expected out of you today. So you will do something different than all the other groups. You have a different video than all the other groups. So like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. If you're not a red kiddo, you do not need to be on this video. Okay, so all my red kiddos are here. All right, so today we're going to be talking about whole numbers to fractions like we did yesterday, but we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper. So let's get started with some misconceptions that I saw yesterday. Whenever we were going to comment, first off, a lot of you guys did comment, so that tells me that you are watching my videos, and I really, really appreciate that. I'm going to give it a little bit more time, and I'm going to give shout outs on Google Classroom to all those kiddos that did comment. And all those kiddos who are watching the videos and wanting to learn at home, I appreciate it so much, more than you'll ever know. Okay, so let's look at these misconceptions that I've seen on comments and on quizzes. A lot of my friends were saying that 1/2 is the same thing as 2 wholes, or 2/1, because they see the same numbers. But guys, we have to remember that the denominator tells you how many parts it's broken into. The numerator is how many shaded parts that you have. So these are not the same. Let's draw it out to show you. 1/2, I have a pie that's broken into, it says 2 parts. So I'm going to break it into 2 parts, and it says that I only have one of those parts. Only have one slice. So here's my 1/2. And then 2/1, well, that's saying that that it's broken into 1 whole parts, so I don't have to break it into anything. I can just draw it in. And that it's shaded, and I eat 2 whole parts, because the numerator tells me how many parts that are shaded or how many parts that I've eaten. So I eat 2 wholes. Do you see the difference on how this is not the same as this? Okay, so I wanted to clear that misconception. Just because they have the same numbers does not mean that they are equal or they are equivalent. Let's look at another example of a misconception. What if you put 1/10 is the same thing as, it's taking a while to erase. My iPad's a little bit quicker. 1/10 is the same thing as 10. Well, no, not necessarily. That's not true at all, because if you draw out a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I should have 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, there's my 10 parts. Okay, so this is 1/10. This is how much I would have. Versus if I had 10 of these giant bars, 10 whole candy bars, or whatever you want to picture. Okay, that's totally different. So it's really important that when you're taking a whole number, that you make sure that the numerator is that number and it's over 1. Okay, so we have that misconception out of the way. Now let's get into whole numbers to fractions and fractions to whole numbers. All right, so let's start with the example of the whole number of 2. Remember, a whole number is just a number that doesn't have a fraction. It's a number that you work with every single day. Well, if we were going to say some examples of some fractions for 2, because that's what it's going to ask you to do later today. That's going to be like your assessment or your little quiz to show me that you understand this. It's going to say, here's your whole number. Now, what's a fraction for this? You could say 2/1 would be a fraction. I know this because it's broken into 1 part. That's my denominator. And my numerator tells me how many times I need to shade it. So I shade it 2 times. 1, 2. Okay. I could also do 4/2. I know this because 4 halves. So halves is what I need to have it broken into. And I can color in 4 parts. See that? That still gives me 2 wholes. Also, remember that your fraction bar is the same thing as a division sign. So essentially, I'm saying 2 divided by 1 is 2, or 4 divided by 2 is 2. So you can get as creative as you want with this. One more example could be 8 over 4. So broken into fourths, and I have 8 total slices shaded. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how 8 fourths is the same thing as 2 wholes. Okay, let's do another number example. I'm going to erase this. Stop looking at 2. 2's too easy. We should go up some. How about the number 10? Okay, so I'm going to draw that in. 10 is my whole number. Okay, and we are talking about what are some fractions that are equivalent to the whole number of 10. Well, we have the obvious one, 10 over 1. We have another one. Can you think of them? What is a numerator that could be divided by the denominator to get me 10? I got it. 100 over 10. Because 10 times 10 equals 100, and 100 divided by 10 equals 10. What about 50 over 5? All these improper fractions are equivalent to the whole number of 10. We're going to do one more example, and then I'm going to tell you what I want you to do for the day. Let's do 8. I'm sure some of you guys have come up with even more examples than I have. And you're going to get your chance to show me how creative you can get with this. Okay, so we have the whole number of 8. A fraction that could represent 8, we can get really simple. Of course, we have 8 over 1. That equals the whole number 8. We also could do 24 thirds. I know this because 24 divided by 3 gets me 8. We could also do 40 fifths. All right, so those are some examples of how we can take whole numbers to fractions. And we can do the same thing. If I gave you some fractions, you could tell me what whole number that it represents. Here's an example. 21 thirds. I'm going to give you a second. If you thought 7, you're correct. Let's do another little quiz. I'm going to give you the fraction. You got to tell me what the whole number is. If you said 12 is your whole number, you are correct. All you have to do is take that denominator and divide it by that numerator. All right. So I think that you guys have a good grip on this subject. This is what I want you to do today. So the first thing I want you to do is get a green light on reflex. Okay, we're working on that fluency. Green light on reflex. Then you're watching this video. Then on Google Classroom, it'll be posted. I haven't posted it just yet. But you'll have a Google slide. And it will say Red Group Google slide. Okay, Red Group NTI Day 12. You should not be on the slide if you're not in the red math group. Instructions. You're going to find a blank slide. You're going to write your name at the top. You're going to give me 3 examples of a whole number to a fraction. And then you get to comment on each other's slides and give them another example of their whole number as a fraction. If you're a kiddo that gets on really early and there's no one else on this slide yet, that's okay. I have an example that you could comment on. So here's an example slide. This is what yours will look like. Name, I put Miss Mallory. You'll put your name. And then I chose 3 random whole numbers. So I chose 4, 7, 21. Okay, so my 2 fraction examples, 16 fourths, 8 halves is equivalent to 4. On 7, I did 7 over 1, and then I did 28 fourths. Then I did the whole number as 21, and then I did 21 over 1. and then 42 halves. So you guys could go up here and you could comment this comment button and tell me some more examples of the whole number of 4, whole number of 7, or 21. You just have to do it on one person's slide. Okay, and after you've done that, you are done with math for the day. All right, I hope that you guys are having an awesome day. I will see you guys later. Thank you for working so hard.